Local news.
Dozens spoke out against it.
More than a dozen people spoke out.
All these protesters say this is government gone too far.
National attention.
Everyone must have a box on their house with keys for the government to get in your house during emergencies.
On June 13th, the citizens of Cedar Falls once again stood up.
When comments are made by anyone, they are to be civil in nature, and we've got a lot of emails and calls in the middle of the night.
The final vote was held to approve Ordinance 2740, an unfunded mandate forcing the citizens to provide the fire department keys to their businesses and rental properties via lockboxes.
If there's 841 lockboxes, and if it costs about $500 per lockbox, we're looking at putting a tax on our citizens and property owners of $500,000. So if we just assume that one door costs $1,000 in the event of total destruction, maybe it's higher, maybe it's lower, that's over 500 doors that we have to knock down before there's any return on investment. And in 2010, we knocked down a grand total of 0 doors.
When someone rents a property, leases a property from me, that becomes their personal residence.
The people who rent property today have the same rights as single property dwellers.
And you deserve the same security and safety.
There have been abuses of the lockboxes. It was in Seattle just this year. Over 25 businesses were broken into via the Knox box.
How many businesses have asked for this?
They were broken into, the security was breached, and millions of identities were stolen.
I don't want it on my property.
How many businesses do you know of have asked you to put a lockbox on the outside of their business?
I don't want it on any of the properties I own.
And that should be your answer.
Let's take that logic to many other ordinances that we currently have. Let's say plumbing code.
You know what? We're talking about lockboxes here. Okay. We're talking about access to someone else's private property.
Is all there's got to be is one of them lost. And that jeopardizes the security of all of these places.
And it's about safety. I'm concerned more about the safety of my family and my daughters at UNI, about her apartment getting broken in and getting robbed or assaulted because somebody broke into a block box outside the building.
If you look throughout history, government is the most dangerous group to human safety.
We're required to purchase lock boxes from a single source. They're at a highly inflated price.
You could look at Mao Zedong, Hitler.
Are we going to bring back kickbacks with this program?
Now, I'm not saying you guys are Nazis or anything like that, but a lot of what these guys did leading up to their full-on tyranny was, paid with good intentions.
While maybe cities have proven that it is indeed constitutional, there are very constitutional concerns.
We live in a constitutional republic. That means we get to elect people to represent us. So you are representing the citizens of Cedar Falls.
Whether you guys are tyrants or not, it doesn't matter, because it can be the next guys that come along and decide that they want to abuse this, and who's going to stop them?
It's not the job of the council or any elected official to judge the merit of a particular issue. It's the job of the people.
I really wish you to abide to the citizens of this community.
They're the ones that you should be listening to.
We are not happy.
Any property I own, feel free to knock the door down. I'll take care of it.
They'd rather have someone very quickly knock down a door, not fumbling for keys, not looking for the lockbox.
Last week I had the fire inspection, and they asked me where the Knox box was.
I have absolutely no support for it whatsoever, and I believe it's your job to listen to the people.
Abide by our wishes and vote this down, repeal this.
This should be voluntary, not a mandate. Don't require people to do it.
Since this seems to be a political hot potato, why doesn't the City Council let the people of Cedar Falls vote on this?
Make it be a choice if a business owner wants to have this or not.
But you mentioned that having the knock boxes allow the fire department to get into residences more quickly. Could you tell me time frame compared to what?
I don't have any statistical information for you.
How many lives have been saved via lock boxes in Cedar Falls?
Well, that'd be hard to determine.
5 minutes?
I don't.
2 minutes?
I don't want to give you a number because I don't know if it's accurate or not.
My fear is that emergency assessment is even skewed. Out of 269 properties, there were 98 entries, lockbox entries. The remaining 572 properties, there were 0 entries.
Chief Schilling, do other cities have this system?
Yes, sir.
Does it work?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So it requires a roll call vote to pass the third reading.
Six ayes, one nay, Mr. Mayor.
That passes the third reading.
Thanks for ignoring the citizens.
Don't let this happen in your town. Join the cause at nolockbox.org.
I guarantee you, it's easier to hack down doors with an axe or with a battering ram than to go to a box in a fire and go through all the keys in the dark and then find it and go to it. Knock them down. There's a fire. It's a cheap door. Knock it down. You got probable cause. There's flames shooting out. Knock it down. You know, stinking key.